new man-made brainpower framework could prompt improved approaches to control high ozone issues. Ozone levels in the world's lower atmosphere, the most minimal level of our environment, would now be able to be gauged with exactness as long as about 14 days ahead of time, a momentous improvement over current frameworks that can precisely foresee ozone levels just 3 days ahead. The new man-made brainpower framework created in the University of Houston's Air Quality Forecasting and Modeling Lab could prompt improved approaches to control high ozone issues and even add to answers for environmental change issues. This was testing. No one had done this beforehand. I accept we are quick to attempt to estimate surface ozone levels 14 days ahead of time. Yoon-Soo Choi, professor of atmospheric chemistry and AI deep learning, College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, University of Houston. The discoveries are distributed online in the Logical Diary, Scientific Reports Nature. Ozone, a drab gas, is useful in the perfect spot and sum. As a piece of the world's stratosphere, the ozone layer, it shields by sifting through UV radiation from the sun. Yet, when there are high convergences of ozone close to Earth's surface, it is poisonous to lungs and hearts. Ozone is an auxiliary contamination, and it can influence people bad, clarified doctoral understudy Alkama Saeed, a specialist in Choi's lab and the principal creator of the exploration paper. Openness can prompt throat disturbance, inconvenience breathing, asthma, even respiratory harm. A few group are particularly helpless, including the exceptionally youthful, the older and the constantly sick. Ozone levels have become a regular piece of everyday climate forecasts. In any case, in contrast to climate estimates, which can be sensibly exact as long as 14 days ahead, ozone levels have been anticipated just a few days ahead of time, until this forward leap. The tremendous improvement in determining is just a single piece of the narrative of this new examination. The other is the means by which the group got it going. Ordinary estimating utilizes a mathematical model, which implies the exploration depends on conditions for the development of gases and liquids in the environment. The constraints were clear to Choi and his group. The mathematical cycle is moderate, making results costly to get, and exactness is restricted. Precision with the mathematical model begins to drop after the initial 3 days, Choi said. The examination group utilized a novel misfortune work in fostering the AI calculation. A misfortune work helps in enhancement of the AI model by planning choice to their related expenses. In this venture, analysts utilized record of understanding, known as IOA, as the misfortune work for the AI model over regular misfortune capacities. IOA is a numerical correlation of holes between what is generally anticipated and how things really end up. Utilization of ozone as a cleansing agent for SARS-CoV-2. Incredible calculations can foresee the natural language of malignant growth and Alzheimer's. Nanotechnology and man-made brainpower might be important segments in getting worldwide food creation. All in all, colleagues added verifiable ozone information to the preliminaries as they continuously refined the program's responses. The mix of the mathematical model and the IOA as the misfortune work in the long run empowered the AI calculation to precisely anticipate results of genuine ozone conditions by perceiving what occurred before in comparable circumstances. It is similar as how human memory is constructed. Consider a young man who sees some hot tea on a table and attempts to contact it, wondering for no specific reason. The second the youngster contacts the cup, he understands it is hot and shouldn't be contacted straightforwardly. Through that experience, the youngster has prepared his brain, Saeed said. In a fundamental sense, it is something very similar with AI. You give input, the PC gives you yield. Over numerous redundancies and rectifications, the interaction is refined after some time, and the AI program comes to know how to respond to conditions that have been introduced previously. On an essential level, man-made brainpower creates similarly that the youngster learned not to be in such a rush to get the following cup of hot tea. In the lab, the group utilized 4 to 5 years of ozone information in what Saeed portrayed as a developing cycle of encouraging the AI framework to perceive ozone conditions and gauge the estimates, improving over the long run. Applying profound figuring out how to air quality and climate gauging resembles looking for the sacred goal, very much like in the films, said Choi, who is a major aficionado of activity plots. In the lab, we went through some troublesome occasions for a couple of years. There is an interaction. At last, we've gotten a handle on the sacred goal. This framework works. The AI model sees how to figure. Notwithstanding the long periods of work, it some way or another still feels like a shock to me, even today. Before achievement in the research center can prompt genuine assistance, numerous business steps are ahead in before the world can profit with the revelation. In the event that you know the future, air quality for this situation, you can do a ton of things for the local area. This can be basic for this planet. Who can say for sure? Maybe we can sort out some way to determine the environmental change issue. The future may go past climate gauging and ozone determining. This could help make the planet secure, said Choi.